Hello, welcome to Bachmann Europe and thank you for joining us today for our Spring 2025 British Railway announcements. During 2024 we revealed no fewer than 20 brand new tooling projects through this medium, and many of those have already arrived in the shops. However, we have lots to look forward to this year, including the all-new Bachmann branch line Class 08 and 09 diesel shunters and the LNER V2 from Graham Farish, not to mention our lovely Class 69s which are coming along nicely for Bachmann branch line in 00 scale. But there's always room for a bit more, so why don't we take a look at which new models we have in store for Spring 2025.
One of the most iconic new models to arrive during 2024 was the prototype power car that spearheaded the high-speed diesel train, and this stunning model forms the basis of our latest Bachmann Collectors Club limited edition releases. Firstly, we have a twin pack depicting power cars numbers 41001 and 41002, as built when they entered service in 1972, forming the prototype high-speed train which was trialled primarily on the East Coast Main Line and the Great Western Main Line. The twin pack features two fully functional models, each of which is motorised and with features ranging from directional lights to front cab, rear cab and guards compartment lighting, all of which can be enjoyed by analogue and DCC users. A single power car is also available, depicting 41001 in its departmental life. After the introduction of the production HSTs, the two prototype power cars were withdrawn in late 1976 and entered the Railway Technical Centre fleet. Number 41001 became ADB 975812, and its yellow ends were extended to cover the full cab end and cab doors. Used to haul test trains, the power cars fell out of use by the mid-1980s. In addition to the standard model, the single departmental power car is also available with sound fitted. As always, club members receive a 10% discount when purchasing these new models, making the single power car just £179.95 or £278.95 with sound fitted. The twin pack, which comprises two standard, fully functional power cars, is priced at £359.95. These models and the full club range can also be purchased by non-members at www.clubmodels.co.uk. However, with club members benefiting from savings of up to £40 on the HSDT alone, joining the Bachmann Collectors Club from as little as £39 a year is the obvious way to start enjoying tomorrow's collectibles today. Moving to our main ranges, and today we start with the EFE Rail, which sees the introduction of the Class 74 Electro Diesel, a prototype never previously produced as a mainstream ready-to-run 00 scale model. This project was revealed last week in association with Hornby magazine, and today we are delighted to unveil the 5 models that will be available at launch. A fleet of 10 Class 74s entered traffic between 1967 and 1968 after being rebuilt from Class 71 electrics. The new type having the advantage of being able to work on both third rail electrified lines and off the juice thanks to their new diesel engine. All were outshopped in BR Blue, and our first model depicts the first of the fleet, number E6101. Number E6104 is also finished in as new condition. This number would have been carried until the implementation of the Total Operations Processing System, or TOPS, in the early 1970s. Two models are offered with their TOPS number, 74007 and 74010, each of which has a pristine finish. Our final example is TOPS number 74009, however this model has a weathered finish. Along with a 21-pin DCC decoder socket and provision for a speaker to be fitted, the EFE Rail Class 74 boasts cab lights and illuminated headco blinds, and both features can be enjoyed on analogue control and DCC, and a selection of interchangeable blinds are supplied with every model. Staying with EFE Rail but moving up to O scale, and we have teamed up with Australian manufacturer Ixion Model Railways to bring their award-winning Hudswell Clarke 060 saddle tank to the EFE Rail range. 4 models are offered and each is supplied with a selection of unpainted etched name, number and works plates, allowing various locomotives to be depicted. First is this green liveried model, decorated as per number 1700 Wissington, which was built for the British Sugar Corporation and is now preserved on the North Norfolk Railway. Our maroon model is decorated in the same style as Derek Crouch, number 1539, which now resides on the Nene Valley Railway. The lined grey livery of the Manchester Ship Canal is applied to this Hudswell Clarke, which is based on number 78, whilst the last of our quartet is this attractive blue locomotive complete with lining. All models include an 8-pin DCC decoder socket and space for a speaker to be fitted in the event that you also wish to add sound. For our EFE Road range of 1 to 76 scale die-cast models, this spring sees the launch of the Leyland Atlantean Sea Dog open-top buses, and 5 models will be available initially. The project was first announced several years ago and has now come to fruition following an extended gestation period. The full-size Sea Dogs were built in 1961 for the well-known operator Devon General, for use on open-top bus tours of the Torbay area, and they entered service in a distinctive cream and red livery. When Devon General became part of the National Bus Company in 1971, the Sea Dogs were repainted into NBC poppy red and white and were converted to one-man operation. Western National branding was later applied, and in this guise their duties spread further afield, into Cornwall and Dorset. Fleet number 926, registration 926 GTA, is our first model, and this carries NBC poppy red and white livery with Western National branding, in post-1973 condition, working service 514 to Penzance. The Sea Dogs went their separate ways when withdrawals from NBC Western National commenced in 1982, and here we have 927 GTA, which found its way to Ribble Motor Services, becoming fleet number 1927. Our model is finished in circa 1986 condition, decorating the distinctive Ribble white, red and grey striped livery with Excursion Service O2 blinds. Next is 925 GTA, which was transferred from Western National to North Devon Limited, another NBC operator trading as Redbus. The model is in post-1983 condition and carries blinds for service 301 to Westward Ho. 933 GTA would move to London to find new employment with Holman Bros coaches of wood green for use on London Transport sightseeing services around the capital. This post-1982 depiction of 933 GTA sees the Sea Dog decorated in London Transport red livery, complete with solid white roundels, London Cityscape decals and round London sightseeing tour branding. Our final model for now depicts ABV 669A, formerly 927 GTA, which made it all the way to Scotland following its time with Ribble Motor Services. This 2004 to 2007 condition model carries first Glasgow Fleet number 39989 and is decorated in the classic Glasgow Corporation orange, cream and green livery, but with Glasgow Cityscape decals, as working on the first city tour sightseeing services. To house these and other EFE Road models, we are delighted to welcome the return of the highly popular bus garage. Manufactured for EFE Road by Scenecraft, this model is ideally suited for use with 1:76 scale model buses and 00 scale model railways, and once again the bus garage will come complete with the EFE diecast bus model. Next we move to N scale, and starting with the Scenecraft range are new additions to our collection of master sculpted and hand finished, highly detailed ready to use buildings and accessories. For the station scene we have the stone waiting room. This model is available in a choice of two colours and can be used on its own or as a complement to the previously released stone booking hall for a larger station perhaps. Like the waiting room, this covered metal footbridge can also be placed on the platform and is wide enough to cross double tracks. Again, two colour options are available. Many stations, yards and depots had mess rooms to provide staff and personnel with a space to work or rest, and this model is based on the building found at Loughborough Station on the Great Central Railway and is produced with green or red woodwork. Whilst no station, yard or freight facility would be complete without a weighbridge to keep a check on the goods arriving or departing by road. Another lineside building is the wooden lamp hut. Finally, for the lineside, cabinets like these have been seen across the railway network since electronic signalling and communication was introduced, and so no modern railway can be without them. We conclude our new N-scale Scenecraft models for spring 2025 with this pair of low-relief bay terraced houses. Each has a left-hand bay window and the models have either a blue or green door to add instant variety to a low-relief backdrop. Staying with N-scale and for our new additions to the Graham Farish range this quarter, we start with the Great Western Railway's 64XX pannier tank. Carrying GWR green with the shirt button logo is number 6412, which is one of three preserved 64XXs. Carrying BR black with early emblems we have 6406 along with 6413, the latter having a weathered finish. Another weathered option is this model of 6416, which is carrying the BR line green livery with lake crests. So too applied to 6408, which has a pristine finish. The 64XXs were auto-fitted locomotives, meaning they could work in fixed formation with one or more auto trailers, whereby the locomotive's controls would be operated from the driving compartment of the auto trailer. The Graham Farish Hawksworth auto trailer has recently been re-released and makes the perfect companion to the 64XX, providing a complete train for any Western region operation. Further Class 47s will be arriving in 2025, utilising the new Graham Farish specification with its Next 18 DCC interface, speaker and sound-fitted options, and the first trio to be revealed includes 47712 Lady Diana Spencer in BR ScotRail livery. This Class 47-7 was one of 16 fitted with push-pull equipment and long-range fuel tanks to work push-pull trains in Scotland. The real locomotive is now preserved and has returned to the main line once again, decorated in ScotRail colours. The Class 47-4 subclass was used to designate locomotives fitted with electric train heating, and so commonly saw use on passenger parcels and mail traffic. Number 47555 first received the name the Commonwealth Spirit in 1979, and this Class 47-4 gained its rail freight distribution European livery with blue roof, as depicted by the Graham Farish model, in 1995. Finally for now is number 47849, which carries Intercity Swallow livery. Locomotives in the 47-8 number series were Class 47-4s that had been fitted with extended range fuel tanks, allowing them to work longer distances, typically on cross-country services, and indeed much of the fleet was used by Virgin Cross Country following privatisation. The locomotive was already wearing its Intercity livery when it was fitted with long-range fuel tanks and renumbered from 47570 to 47849 in 1990. It remained in this livery long into privatisation, before being repainted into Virgin colours in 2000. With Rail Express Systems Class 47 and Class 90 locomotives already to be found in the Graham Farish range, we welcome back the Mark 1 brake gangwayed high security vehicles this spring. Converted from BR Mark 1 BGs, and so dubbed Super BGs by many, these TOPS code NBA vehicles will be available in the red and grey livery of Rail Express Systems, or in the same livery but with the addition of Royal Mail markings. Concluding our N-scale offerings are the VGA vans, these long wheelbase vehicles being built in 1982 for BR's Rail Freight division, and first of all we have a pair of vans in BR Rail Freight red and grey with Speedlink markings. When the rail freight sectors were created in 1987, VGAs began appearing with their red ends changed to yellow, and rail freight distribution markings added, as modelled by this duo. A pair of vans with Lovat Spring markings are next, branded as such because VGAs were used to distribute bottled water from the Highlands of Scotland from the late 1990s, and some are still in use today, albeit no longer moving Lovat Spring water. Finally, we have two vans in the familiar maroon livery of EWS, which purchased the rail freight distribution sector in 1997 following privatisation. Moving to OO scale, and again let's start with our Scenecraft range, and where else could we start but with the giant that is the 25-ton Goliath steam gantry crane. These impressive structures could be found in goods yards and freight facilities around the UK as early as the 19th century. The overhead crane was suspended from a gantry that ran on two rails set aside railway tracks, allowing cargo to be moved between railway wagons and road vehicles with ease. Next we have this small substation, brick built and typical of the type found many times over in villages, towns and cities across the UK. Two options are available with blue or green doors. The unbundled oil tank, mounted on brick supports, is ideal for any industrial setting where oil or other liquids need to be stored. Choose from a rusty black appearance or a green tank. The portable offices are also useful for any number of commercial or industrial scenes, providing quick and easy working spaces, and commonly found on building sites and other construction projects too. For something a little different, the sawmill, which is available with a natural wood or blackwash finish, is supplied complete with wood piles. Using this structure it's possible to create an instant diorama when combined with some branchline OTA timber wagons. For the station scene, this wooden pagoda shed offers the perfect solution for a small station or second platform and is available in white and green or GWR dark and light stone. Our new South Eastern station is modelled on Newington Station and is available with blue paintwork and typical British Rail signage, or in white with modern South Eastern styling. Another relatively modern structure is the relocatable equipment building. These have become common sites on the line side, and grey or green versions are available. Turning our attention to signal boxes, a March East Junction signal box is the subject of this impressive Scenecraft model, complete with its wraparound balcony that boasts metal handrails. A green and cream colour scheme is available, along with the more contemporary grey and black arrangement. A selection of useful Scenecraft accessories is also making a welcome return this spring, including the security fence, metal fencing, 6-foot Victorian wall, benches, metal beer kegs, large aggregate bags, coal loads for four-wheel wagons, and the passenger information screen. Finally for Scenecraft this spring is the quaint narrow gauge signal cabin, in green and cream or brown and cream. Not only is this smaller building ideal for narrow gauge applications, but it could be used on standard gauge lines too, where just a small number of levers are needed. On the 27th of September 1825, the first passenger train ran on the Stockton and Darlington Railway, changing the world forever. This year, Railway 200 celebrates that momentous occasion. But this is not the first time grand festivities have been held to mark significant milestones in the age of the train. And so the new Bachmann Railway Celebrations range will launch in this, the Railway 200 year, showcasing locomotives and rolling stock that gain notoriety during anniversary events, or that have a strong connection to the Stockton and Darlington area as the birthplace of the modern railway. In 1925, to mark the centenary of the opening of the Stockton and Darlington, the LNER hosted a celebration of railways, featuring locomotives from the past century. The locomotives featured in a grand cavalcade, and one of the participants was LNWR G2 class number 9446, which was presented by the LMS as one of the most modern locomotives in use at the time. Outshot by the LNWR's Crew Works less than 4 years earlier as number 1012, this locomotive was the first G2 to receive its LMS number, becoming 9446 in June 1925, when it was repainted into LMS livery ahead of the centenary celebrations. 1975 saw another grand exhibition and cavalcade to mark the 150th anniversary of the opening of the Stockton and Darlington. Held at Shildon in County Durham, preserved GWR 57XX class number 7752 was one of the stars on show, representing one of the most successful 060 tank engine types ever seen in Great Britain, the GWR pannier tank. The locomotive was built for the GWR in 1930 and would go on to work for British Railways before being sold to London Transport in 1952, with whom it operated until 1971 before being sold into preservation. Joining the collection is this 5-plank wagon in the livery of Tarslag 1923 Limited. Tarslag operated a fleet of hundreds of wagons to carry furnace slag and road asphalt, and their operations embodied the freedom of movement afforded by the railway revolution, with concerns in Wolverhampton on the Great Western Railway and Stockton-on-Tees served by the LNER, amongst others. Trains including Tarslag wagons would be seen across the UK. Continuing the freight theme, an endless number of wagons were built to transport freight and goods throughout the UK once the Stockton and Darlington Railway and other pioneering operations had shown the great value and efficiencies that rail travel could provide to industry. This 3-plank wagon was built for the LNER and would have seen use across the north east of England and further afield. We'll have more for our railway celebrations range later in the year, but for now we move to the present day and the Class 350 and 450 Siemens DeZero electric multiple units, which make a welcome return to the branch line range in a selection of contemporary liveries. First is the Class 354, number 350407, in first Transpennine Express livery, and our model carries destination blinds for Manchester Airport. Next is a 353 and set number 35372, which is decorated in the dazzling livery of London North Western Railway, as seen operating on the West Coast Main Line to London Euston. The Class 350s are 4-car units which collect power from overhead lines via their roof-mounted pantograph, which is finely rendered on the branch line model. Moving to the Class 450, and we are delighted to present the branch line model in South Western Railway colours for the first time, complete with destination blinds for London Waterloo. The Class 450s operate on third rail electrified lines in the south, and so have third rail collector shoes fitted to their bogies and no roof-mounted pantograph. For the first time, the Zeros will be available with the option of sound fitted, and each of the Class 350 and 450 models featured here will be available with or without this feature. The Southern Railway Bully coach is the subject of our new tooling for the Bachmann branch line range this spring, and 2 new vehicle types have been tooled to expand the range of coaches and complement earlier releases of these brand new branch line models. The Diagram 2406 Brake Corridor Composite is the first, and these coaches were allocated as loose vehicles rather than being put into semi-permanent sets, as was typical practice with many Southern coaches. Loose coaches were used to bolster capacity at busy times and for splitting from sets partway through a journey. A prime example was the Atlantic Coast Express, which might include up to 6 of these BCKs when leaving Waterloo, each of which was detached during the journey and sent on to its own destination en route, either coupled to a local train or as a train itself hauled singularly by a locomotive. The Diagram 2406 BCKs were built in the days following nationalisation, and so these were outshopped in Southern Malachite green livery but with BR markings. 2 models are available in this original condition. The next livery to be applied was BR Crimson and Cream, as depicted on this model of BCK number S6735. The coaches spent many years in the later BR Southern Region Green livery, and by now strengthening ribs had been added to the body sides, and 2 models will be available depicting vehicles in this condition. In their final years, a small number of BCKs made it away from the Southern region, and W6715W is one such example, ending up on the Western region and decorated in BR Maroon livery. Our second new tooling is the Diagram 2017 Third Open, which was reclassified to Second Open from 1956. Again, these vehicles were built by BR and most 2 were allocated as loose coaches. BR Crimson and Cream livery is carried by our first model. As with the BCKs, BR Southern Region Green covers a long period of the coach's operation and is a popular choice with modellers, and so we have 2 models available in this paint scheme. The second opens were another bullied type to go off region in their later years, with several going to both the Eastern region and Scottish region, and so a pair of models will be available with an example numbered accordingly for each region. These 2 received BR maroon paintwork. Completing the bullied lineup for now is a trio of coaches in the ever popular BR Southern Region Green livery, which together make up set number 781. The set comprises 2 brake second semi-opens, each of which carry the set number on the end of the vehicle at the brake end, and the composite corridor, and the 3 models are each numbered accordingly to suit set number 781. Our final coaches for Spring 2025 utilise the new Mark 1 tooling revealed last year, and the 3 new vehicle types have recently been released in several early liveries. Today we are delighted to add the brake second open in the attractive green and cream livery of the West Highland line, as used for steam rail tours along the scenic Scottish line during the 1980s. The first open is next, and here we see the addition of a model finished in BR Southern Region Green livery. BR Intercity livery adorns 3 further FOs, with the executive style carried by IC3107, whilst the so-called Swallow style is applied to a pair of Intercity charter coaches which are complete with white roofs. Each model has a yellow cant rail stripe, denoting that it provides first-class accommodation. Intercity livery is also applied to the restaurant buffet refurbished, and again we have the executive and Swallow livery styles to choose from. Both feature a red cant rail stripe denoting that these are buffet cars, and the Swallow model is finished with a white roof as common to vehicles used in the Intercity charter set. We conclude today's new announcements with wagons, and further 3-plank open wagons come in the form of these 2 models in Midland Railway Grey livery, a pair in London South Western Railway Brown, 2 in Great Western Railway Grey, and a duo in Great Central Railway Grey. 2 more 3-plank wagons carried BR Departmental Bauxite livery with tops markings, one of which has a weathered finish. For the 5-plank wagon fleet, we welcome this model finished in the red livery of Aronig Granite Co Limited, which was located near Bala in North Wales, whilst the Penderyn Limestone Quarries Company was based in the south of Wales and their wagons were painted grey. This attractive orange wagon was operated by J.R. Wood of Southampton, whilst a pair of wagons from the West Country include F.H. Sylvie & Co. of Fish Ponds, Bristol, who had brown wagons, and R. Fred Cole, the coal and coke merchant of Fairford and Lechlade, who adopted a red livery for their fleet. Our final private owner wagon is this green example of Foster Bros Carlisle. And we round up with a model finished in BR Grey which carries a Midland Region running number. Moving to more contemporary times, and BR standard covered air brake van was first introduced in 1969. Following tops, the vans were generally coded VAB, VAA and VBA. And first up is a VAB example in BR Freight Brown livery. A pair of VAAs are next, and these carry the striking red and grey livery of BR Rail Freight, as introduced at the start of the 1980s, one of which is weathered. Following privatisation, EWS was the main operator of any remaining vans, as depicted by this model which is coded VBA. The VDAs were introduced later in the mid-1970s, and again we are pleased to offer models in BR Freight Brown with Rail Freight branding, and in the later red and grey livery of Rail Freight, including 1 pristine and 1 weathered model. Our final VDA is finished in the colours of BR Rail Freight distribution sector.
Well, that rounds up all of our new models for today, but remember this is just the first of 4 instalments of British Railway announcements, so we have plenty more to come later in the year, and who knows what else we might find to bring to you along the way. You can keep up to date with all the latest news from Bachmann by subscribing to our weekly newsletter, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel to be the first to know about videos like this. Joining the Bachmann Collectors Club is also a great way to keep up to date with everything that's going on here at Bachmann, and you can be shopping our range of limited edition models, including your special members discount of 10% off straight away. Until then, we look forward to seeing lots of you at the upcoming shows and events we'll be supporting, and we'll see you back here in 3 months' time for the next instalment of British Railway announcements. Goodbye.